Interested in getting the H4 Blixen Gold in the fastest, most painless way possible? Well, look no further. I have the builds you need to do just that. Aside from an odd unlock challenge that caused way too many Google searches, the H4 Blixen is a fairly easy weapon to complete. The first build I have for you here is actually a general leveling build created around weapon level 20 or so that I used in hardcore while in between camo challenges to hit level 70 with ease. Now do note that this particular one was adjusted quite a few times as better attachments were unlocked. The ones outlined in yellow are unlocked at relatively low levels and are still what I use today in my current level 70 hardcore setup. I wouldn't necessarily call them vital, but they do balance it out very nicely. The others you should definitely keep an eye out for an optimized final hardcore build are the Bergstrom 17-inch F3 barrel, the Janssen Skeletal CR10 stock, and the .45 ACP-27 rounds, which really tie things together. Using this progression build will easily net you a few completed camo challenges on your way towards gold, including the 100 eliminations, 50 headshots, 50 multi-kills, 30 bloodthirsties, and 100 close-range kills. As we get into the camo specific builds, the first one here is for Deadeye, and it's 50 long shots. Now this one isn't quite optimized as I would have liked. I wasn't feeling the burst barrel that gives the best accuracy because it's a 2-burst kill at distance, and the barrel I wanted to use didn't unlock until level 60 plus, so I made do with the stock one. It wasn't perfect, but it worked well enough to not cause problems. Use your preferred sight that gives you the best visibility at distance, and in my case it's the 3 to 6x scope that I highly recommend. I usually also recommend to throw on Piercing Vision at perk too, but it did get quite the nerf a couple weeks back in a balance update. It still may be worth using, but it's definitely not as effective with visibility as it used to be. Moving right along is the Wildcat challenge, which requires 100 hipfire kills. For me, this drastically goes against my normal playstyle as I'm so used to aiming down sights, so it throws me off quite a bit, even knowing that the challenge comes up for all SMGs. The goal with this build was attempting to keep the sprint to fire speed as low as possible, while keeping accuracy, especially hipfire accuracy, as high as possible. You might also notice a weird inclusion, which is the M38 Slate Hybrid sight. I've seen a few people post that this actually helps with overall accuracy, and it just may be a placebo, but it does seem to work pretty well in hip-firing challenges. You probably won't be using it much anyway except for the occasional enemy at mid-range, so having it certainly doesn't hurt. This also does use the lower caliber 7.62 Gorenkos that don't do as much damage but are better for accuracy, so just keep that in mind. The restrictive attachment challenges start the end of this challenge list, with the first one being for Survivalist and needing to get 100 kills with the Magnus 9-inch burst barrel, .45 ACP-27 round mags, and the Perfectionist Proficiency equipped. I still wasn't fond of the barrel in this instance, but at least it hits better in the closer and medium range, and so I used this setup to revolve around that type of playstyle. I opted for as low as possible aim down sight and sprint to fire times, again, to always have my gun decently ready. This build does suffer from one problem though, and that's due to the barrel's burst delay. It's important to put yourself in a position to land the first shot, especially in the close range, because a missed initial burst will certainly equal death. Definitely stick to medium range to give yourself some space if you're able. Next up is Mind Games, which has to get 100 kills while aiming down the sights with the Bergstrom 17-inch F3 barrel, Mark 6 skeletal underbarrel, and the State Reflector optic equipped. Now this was unexpected. We are currently in Season 3, and they decide to change up their restrictive challenge formula now? Though, I guess it is a little nice change of pace. I'll be honest, I struggled initially with this one, because, and I know I'm definitely in the minority here, but I'm not really a fan of the State Reflector. It is better than most optics, but there are other sights that I prefer when it comes to visibility. Now, it was super easy and flew by when I changed it to this close range build and played Ship House. In my case, I wanted to get up close and personal while moving around quickly, and this build does a great job with that. Onto the final camo challenge for the gun is Death Artist, which requires 100 kills without taking damage from that enemy, with the Mercury Silencer, Carlson 17-inch custom barrel, and the 7.62 Gorenko 36 round mags equipped. Back to back here, we have another first-time restrictive choice in the mix. Now, except for the lower damage mag and the barrel, this is pretty much my preferred hardcore build I like to run. Doing this challenge will absolutely take no time at all. This build is spec'd highly into accuracy to make it decently viable at pretty much any distance, but its bread and butter is in that close to medium range, so keep it there for the best experience. One final note, if you're interested, I do have a core build I like to use of this weapon from time to time, so try it out if you're looking for one to use after camo grinding. If you enjoy the content, a like rating is always appreciated, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care, and enjoy the rest of your day. Later.